All right, guys, this is probably the most important thing we can teach you how to do, and that is if you just put somebody in, what do you do with them? Let's say that I just enrolled Chad. The thing I want to do right off the bat is I want to know, who does this guy know? And so I'm going to say, Chad, in the next 7 to 10 days, let's get this in front of 5 to 10 people that you know. Who are you thinking of right now that you and I can go meet with tomorrow? Guys, I'm telling you, what's been working for me is taking that Just Push Play DVD. Take that thing to the people that you know, sit down next to them and watch that presentation with them. If you can bring your sponsor with, it's even better. So let's look at this. How do we break that down? How does that work? I got to, first of all, train Chad how to make that call. Chad's going to call his friend Eddie. And I'm going to say, look, Chad, when you make that call, all I want you to do is call Eddie, who's your buddy, and ask him what he's doing tomorrow night after work. And if Eddie says nothing, what I want you to do is to say, hey, I'm coming over, I'm bringing a friend, I've got something that you got to look at. Period. We're not going to try to explain this over the phone. You've got an appointment to go see a friend. He knows you're coming over tomorrow night after work. Let's say 7:30. Okay? So I'm going to watch Chad make that phone call so I can critique anything that he's done wrong. He's going to make that appointment. What I'm going to do, if it's possible, is I'm going to go with him to Eddie's house. I like to go to their house when that's possible. It's not always going to be possible, but if it is, I like it the best because I'm going into their comfort zone. When we get to the house, guys, this is not a time to get caught up. If you hadn't seen Eddie for 6 months, we're not going to get caught up right now. We can do that later. This is a business meeting. We walk in and we say, Eddie, where's the DVD player? We take that Just Push Play DVD, we put it in there. We sit down and we watch the presentation with Eddie. And this is how we ask Eddie to get started. At the end of the presentation, Chad's going to say to his friend, Eddie, now you can see why I'm so excited. What I would encourage you to do is on the back of the enrollment form, give them an income disclosure statement. On the back of the enrollment form, though, I want you to just do a quick 4-minute summary of what just happened there. Just show them what they just saw. What I would encourage you to do is just write DT at the top left-hand corner. Dream trips, $49 cruises, $185 all-inclusives. It's $200 one time, $27 a month. Then write LTC right next to it. Rovia website, concierge service plus a whole bunch of other stuff, $200. $27 a month. Then write RBS, Rep Business System, $100, $11 a month. If you get started with everything, it's $365. Do a recap of our products. Then guys, what I do is I talk about timing and placement. I would teach Chad to say this. I would say, Chad, now when you're going to enroll Eddie, talk about where he's going to go in your organization. You're the first person, he was the first person that you thought of. He's going to go on the left or the right, whatever you're going to show him. And then talk specifically about who you're going to go see next. You know, say, Eddie, as you know, we got our friend Scott. I thought of you first, but what I want to do is I'm going to go see Scott, you know, tonight after I meet with you. And if Scott gets in, I'm going to place Scott on your team. Now, you got to be careful there because you better back that up. If you're saying you're going to enroll people on their team, then you better do it. It's better not to say that if you don't think you can do it, but if you think that you can and you really are going over and you really think that person's going to sign up, talk. The main thing you can do, guys, is just talk about who you're going to see. Let them know that you have other appointments scheduled throughout the week, and then you've got to do a recap on how they get their money back. It's going to work like this. We're going to ask them to spend $365. Here's how you get your money back. What I want you to do is this. We're going to teach this person who just got signed up, we're going to sell them 20 of the DVDs. We're going to say, we've got a system in place. We want you to expose a bunch of people that you know in the community, your top 10 or your top 15 people, fast. We're going to get this DVD into their hands fast. What I want you to do is let's schedule some appointments this week, and hopefully, if you have average influence in the community, we can make 6 sales fast. And if that happens, 6 times 20 for the sale is $120. We're going to place 3 on the left, 3 on the right. That's a cycle. That's another $200. And because we made 6 sales in the first 30 days, that's a $250 bonus. So watch, I circle 570 down on the bottom. It was $365 to get started with everything. If they chose to do that, we put $570 back in their pocket, hopefully fast. Guys, when that happens, I'm telling you, you start to build a big group. Watch, this is what you do. You take that enrollment form and you turn it over. Their name is already filled out on it, and you just ask them to get started. You have enough information to get started right now? Awesome, welcome to the team. If that person says no, what I do is I invite them to a weekly meeting that we have set up in our town. See, for us, the meeting happens on Thursday. If you're in a brand new market and there's no one there yet, you just create the meeting. It's in your home. It happens on whatever day you choose. If it's Thursday, you get 2 or 3 people together, and I call it social proof night. That's a night where this person can come out, see the presentation again and get questions answered. Maybe questions about the product, maybe questions about the income, just questions in general to see if they like the people who are involved. But I call it social proof night. What we've been doing is just one meeting throughout the week. So look, 2-on-1s are working best. If you can't do a 2-on-1, we get it, do a 1-on-1. Guys, it's got to be tools driven. That just push play DVD is rock solid. It is working. So we want you to get to your people fast. If you want to build a big group of people fast, expose people fast. So what we're doing is we're teaching 2-on-1s when possible. We've also set up a Saturday morning meeting. For us, it's from 9 to 11. And on that meeting, what we're going to cover is, why did that person just get started? Why did they sign up? What are their goals? What are they trying to achieve? Do they want to earn $1,000 a month in the next year? Do they want to earn $5,000 a month in the next year? We got to figure out, what are they shooting for? What are their goals? We need to ask them, how many hours can you give us? Do you have 5 hours a week? Do you have 15? And then ask them what they're willing to give up. Are you going to give up softball this year to make this thing happen? You know, will you give up maybe some nights away from your family? What are you willing to give up to actually make this thing happen? We talk about working for the season of their life. During that training on Saturdays, we cover specifically in detail working on the invites, making sure we're not doing the presentation over the phone. Guys, for me, I always invite people on the phone, but I never present on the phone. The close that I always do is the one I just talked about. I do the recap. It's basically doing the 4-minute presentation on the back of the enrollment form, then turning it over and asking them to get started with us. So we're going to cover the 5 to 10 in the next 7 to 10 days. That system is genius. It is working. The groups that are using that are just putting in huge numbers right now. So we're going to cover that. We're going to cover their why, their goals, their time commitment, and what they're going to give up. We're also going to help them get a dream trip schedule. We're going to look in their calendar. Guys, if you want to build a big group and have it be rock solid, get the people on your team, get your dream trip members to take dream trips. We got an 89% retention rate if our members actually use their product and take a trip. It is so much easier to sell dream trip memberships if you've actually taken a dream trip. For me, I've taken a ton. One of the things I do when I start my trainings is I always just show the people all the places that I've gone. Again, it's social proof. So as you start to build up a marketplace, what's going to happen is more and more people have used the product. That's just that many more people validating that the product is real. So guys, look, let's recap this thing. When you get people started, what you really want to know is, who does this person know? Who does this person have influence over? And let's get to those people as fast as we possibly can. I like going to their home. I think it's the best option, but it's not always an option. There's nothing wrong at all with going to Starbucks or TGI Fridays or wherever you can meet that person. You know, getting appointments fast. If I put somebody in, my goal for that person is to get them to make their 6 sales in 7 days, in 1 week. I want them plugged in. Now, if that person actually does get signed up and they go out, I give them some DVDs, I sell them some DVDs, and that person goes out there and they sign up a few people. Guys, one more thing we got to cover is, okay, if I just signed up Chad and I sold Chad 20 DVDs, and now he's out there promoting World Ventures, using the DVDs, he goes to his friend Eddie's house and I can't be there, what I'm going to teach you to do is this. Just do a 3-way call. Just pass the phone back and forth between Eddie to Chad, and then get your sponsor. Just introduce your upline, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 levels higher in your upline. And look, you're going over to Eddie's house, and you go, all right, look, hey, Peach, hey, I'm heading over to Eddie's house. I'm going to do this presentation in a little bit. I'm going to push play in a little bit. Are you going to be available in 30 minutes? I'm going to text back, yes. If he doesn't hear from me, he's got to go to somebody else, but he's got to have somebody in his back pocket when he's first getting started, just so he feels a little bit more confident to answer questions on the back end. We found that works the best. If you can go do a 2-on-1, it's better. Do it. But it's not always going to be possible. Then just do the 3-way calls. Just pass the phone back and forth between you and your prospect with your upline. Let that person answer questions. And again, when somebody asks me a question at the end and they're not ready to get started, this is what I always say. Hey, smart people always have questions. You can come on Thursday night. I call it social proof night. You can meet all the people who are involved and get all those questions answered. But listen, I got to fly. I got to get out here. I got other appointments tonight. I got to go see some other people. And so, hey, we'd love to have you get started. We know you got some questions. Why don't you come on Thursday? I just invite them to come on Thursday. And then I'm going to walk out the door, because I'm not going to press people. I'm not looking to put the squeeze on them right then and there. I just wanted to see who was willing to make a commitment to get started with us right now. I'm just looking for the absolute yeses. When I put a person in, I just think of a sponge. I'm going to wring that person out. I'm going to get all their contacts as fast as I possibly can, because, guys, it is the speed of exposure. I know that Chad has influence over 4, 5, or 6 people that just because he says it they're going to do it with him. He's going to go, hey, this is me, Colin. I'm doing this thing. I thought of you first. This is big. It's worthwhile. You know, I use phrases like this to the guys that I know. I would always say something like this: Chad, I guarantee that you know 10 people who would blow this thing up. Why don't you just bring me to those 10 fast? Who are you thinking of? Who's the high-speed guy that you know? Let's go see that guy tomorrow. I'm just constantly looking for these people that I just enrolled. Who do they know? And guys, always recruit up when possible. And guys, if you do that, you get in the culture of just doing that, plugging in to the regional events. The company's done a great job with the regionals all across the country. They do a great job with our national events. Plug into the training, build month to month, event to event, and I'm telling you, you watch your business grow, it'll explode. Because guys, it's happening. It's happening for all sorts of people. Got brand new teams exploding all over the world, and they're just pushing play. So my advice would be, get a whole bunch of those DVDs and get out there and tell the story. Rock and roll, guys.